Verse 7, regarding judging others. Judge not, that you not be judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how do you say of your eye, or how do you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is a log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Do not give to dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them underfoot and turn to attack you. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks it will be opened. Or which one of you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a serpent? If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask him? The golden rule. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and prophets. And when it says that, what it means is that if you were to overly boil down the gospel, like really reduce it, this is going to be one of the core principles. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? So every healthy tree bears fruit, good fruit, but the diseased tree bears bad fruit. A healthy tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a diseased tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus you will recognize them by their fruits. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and do many mighty works in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. the servant was healed at that very moment. Jesus heals many. And when Jesus entered Peter's house, he saw his mother-in-law lying sick with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and they rose and began to serve him. That evening they brought to him many who were oppressed by demons, and he cast out the spirits with a word, and healed all those who were sick. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. He took our illnesses and bore our diseases. And the citation for that, let me see, verse 17. It's cited from Isaiah 53, which is a famous passage, and I will read that at some point in the future. But it says, he took our illnesses and bore our diseases. Now when Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to go over to the other side. And a scribe came up to him and said, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another of the disciples said to him, Lord, let me go first bury my father. Jesus said to him, Follow me, and leave the dead to bury their own dead. For the longest time, I always thought this was referring to an active funeral, but what this means in that context of that era, when he says, let me bury my father, he's basically saying, let me hang out with my family until my father passes and I can inherit his estate. So that's not quite how it initially reads. It's more of a cultural thing. Jesus calms the storm, and when he got into the boat, his disciples followed him, and behold, there arose a great storm on the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, and he was asleep. And they went and woke him, saying, Save us, Lord, we are perishing. And he said to them, Why are you afraid, O you of little faith? Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. And the men marveled, saying, What sort of man is this, that even the winds and sea obey him? And I'll say to you, listener, right now, I hope that if you feel like you're on a boat in the sea right now, that this video and that God's peace would find you exactly where you're at, so that you can drift off into the same level of sleep that Jesus was experiencing right here. And when he came to the other side, the country of the Gadarenes, 2 demon-possessed men met him coming out of the tombs, so fierce so that no one could pass that way. And behold, they cried out, What do you have to do with us, O Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Now a herd of many pigs was feeding at some distance from them, and the demons begged him, saying, If you cast us out, send us away into the herd of pigs. And he said to them, Go. So they came out and went to the pigs, and behold, the whole herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the waters. The herdsmen fled, and going into the city, they told everything, especially what had happened to the demon-possessed man. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their region. That's how afraid they were of him and his power. I think that's all we'll read today, with the exception of, I'll touch on this cultural note here, houses in Galilee. Galilean villages at the time of Jesus were typically built on an insula plain. An insula was a self-contained living compound composed of small roofed rooms and adjacent open courtyards that together provided housing for an extended family. The insula was typically square or rectangular in shape, with single tight entrances off of a narrow alleyway or street. Rooms were usually small, less than 6 to 8 feet across, roofed by a matting of logs, branches, and mud. The walls were constructed of rough-hewn stones held together by smaller stones chinked into the seams, then plastered with mud. The floors of the rooms were also made of rough-hewn stone. Because the building material around the Sea of Galilee was basalt rock, insulae there had a dark yet homey look. Roofed rooms were used for storage and sleeping, while the open courtyards typically served as places to grind grain and prepare and cook food. Some courtyards and enclosed rooms were used by the family's animals. Larger rooms were subdivided to create additional living spaces for married sons as the need arose. Many household activities could be moved indoors or out depending on the weather or need for privacy. Remains of insulae have been excavated in Capernaum, Bethsaida, Chorazin, Magdala, and the 4 villages visited by Jesus. Though no 2 insulae have been the exact same floor plan, they share an overall similarity in style. It is possible to picture many of Jesus' village activities in and around such insulae, like when it says the house